Hey yo!
What's up, y'all? It's JokermanUno back at you with another Rouse's Wrestling Rants topic. This time we're taking it a little bit off the beaten path. We're just going to talk about something that's kind of a cross-pollination thing for me. Talking about WWE kicking Westside Gunn from a show for no reason. If you know who Westside Gunn is, he is a rap phenom right now. He's like part of sort of drumless rap era that we found ourselves in like the late 2010s, and him and his brother Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, Griselda. They've kind of gotten their like scruples. They've kind of cultivated their fan base by being massive wrestling fans, alongside bringing back that kind of era of rap. And they've been putting out WWE merch such as this. They've been putting out records with WWE iconography, imagery, still images, and this has been the way for a very long time until now. WWE just kicked Westside Gunn out of a show for no reason whatsoever and are filing cease and desist against him for samples slash song covers involving anything WWE related. So that's Westside right here getting kicked the hell out. It's unfortunate. This shouldn't happen. But now you also have him saying that he made wrestling cool again. So we're gonna go and check to see what Westside Gunn is talking about.
What's your name?
Mark Brenner.
Mark Brenner kicking me out of Monday Night Raw, my $5,000 seat. For no reason. All these people in here. I didn't even know. What's your name?
Mark.
So we're gonna read this out real quick. Before I even say this, just know God is the greatest. For years, I mean, nobody with 2 feet has spent the amount of money I have supported in pushing a brand I've loved since I can remember. I sat front row at every big show, literally all the good times brought to my life, to the point where I started making music I incorporated in everything, like Wu-Tang did karate. He's basically saying the way Wu-Tang took something, a niche within black culture, which was our love for kung fu movies in the 70s and 80s, and kind of brought that to the music. Westside Gunn and his people pretty much did the same thing with wrestling. Because it's very much the same as wrestling. Black people love wolf tickets. We love action. We love fighting. We love all that. Like, it's entertainment. So see that cross pollination where WWE hasn't yet. WWF, WWE has not, and will not ever, it seems. That's the point he's making. I made people who hated the product watch it again. I made it look cool when at the time people thought it was nerdy. I've watched that same company sit countless of people next to me who's not even fans for real and act like I didn't exist. I was threatened to take everything out of my music, which I only did to pay homage, or my whole catalog would be demolished. And everybody knows how hard I work coming from Buffalo for me to get that threat for just supporting and being a real fan. Hurted me. That shit hurted me, but I stayed quiet and still, like a crazy man, sat front row because I love the culture. I even just went viral for spending $50K on sweets on my soul, and these WWE tickets are expensive these days. These are the only people that can go to WWE events at this level anymore. We're going to talk about that a little bit. It all coincides. It's new management. All of this is new management. 50K on suites. On my soul, I've only been respectful. I tried having conversations with one individual because he's causing all of these unnecessary cases, and to be honest, he hates seeing a young black successful entrepreneur that can afford these seats and have to watch those chains dance across that screen, to the point Monday Night Raw starts at 8 p.m. I was kicked out by 8:03 after spending $5K on a seat plus travel, hotel, etc. in my own city for absolutely nothing. No lie, the kidding me. Heart broke that day. I put that billboard up, that $1 Million Man billboard up, which he loves, and I wanted to push him in the culture because he deserves it and show Virgil love for the culture. I get a letter saying ... So I say, you know what? I'm gonna show love to only the people that show me love from now on. So you don't have to worry about me pushing the product over there again. It's sad because I still love them, but I have my own company, Fourth Rope. And yeah, we're the underdogs, but we love this shit. It's not about money. We're gonna keep pushing culture, and I'm honored to have Josh Bishop on the trilogy cover because he deserves it for believing in me from day one as my first official wrestler. This is the cover, by the way. This is the cover. So yeah, there's a lot of things to unpack in that. Let's just go through it. To be a WWE fan and go to these live shows is a very expensive endeavor. I did my first show this year. You can check that out over here. And it's not for the weak of heart. Like, I just got it on a humble. I was able to get some pretty good tickets. There was nothing really going on. It wasn't like a super big show, but he goes to all the big shows and it's 50K on suites. And I do think that it's a piece of like, you know, there's a lot of reasons why WWE did this. Let's get the low hanging fruit one out of the way. They don't like niggas unless you're a Samoan, in which case they love you and they push you. But you know, if you're black pushing black culture, they don't really fuck with that. They don't really fuck with you. I mean, you look at everybody that's black on the roster. You look at all the promise of a Mellow Hayes. You look at how they're shuffling on Trick Williams. They don't got nothing for that guy. It's a blessing that he's not in main roster because he still was able to keep his aura intact, messing with TNA roster. I mean, unless you're like, I mean, you got Jade doing her thing finally. You got Lash Legend, but like a strong black man. I mean, you look at the Street Profits, bro. Like they had one of the best matches around WrestleMania, and they weren't even on WrestleMania. They were on the Friday SmackDown show. It's a lot that gets stacked up, and then you know you hear about JR being a racist, and you hear you know Triple H can't never beat the allegations. And but if you're Samoan, and I love Jey Uso, I love Jimmy Uso, I love Fatu, but listen, it is what it is, bro. So yeah, I do think they were threatened by like a black dude, you know, having mad money and being in the front row, and he's not dressed like Macho Man and shit. But I only think it's TKO that really cares. This shirt, this hoodie right here, this hoodie came out during the Vince McMahon era. This is the most craziest shit that you could ever do and sell, and nobody comes to get you, and you're wearing this shit front row. I saw Westside Gunn wearing this shit, and I was like, no fucking way, bro. At Raw, bro, you wearing this shit? And nothing happened. And this was during the Vince era. So that lets me know if you can do this during the Vince era and nothing happens to you, but like, you know, now it's TKO, now you're getting kicked out and you're getting treated differently, it's definitely a TKO thing. It's definitely a TKO thing. And it's not just because of like the blatant usage. It'd be one thing if it was just usage, but like now you have this fourth rope thing where let's just look up fourth rope. Fourth rope, of course, is like an independent wrestling thing that he's doing. Let's take a look at it real quick. For the love of wrestling through lens of art, fashion, and music, curated by Westside Gunn. Right? This is what they got coming on. You got Gangrel over there. You got the Hardys and Zillifot 2 over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're threatened by this. Believe it or not, they're the underdogs. They're threatened by this. And Vince regime wouldn't give a shit, but TKO sees everything as a threat. They weren't like in the Vince era, they weren't even acknowledging AEW like that. But like now you got counter programming going on under the TKO management. So they're threatened by every little thing. Like this monopolization shit that the world is going through is happening in all sectors. All of these acquisitions, all of these like things that you see in entertainment where it's like it's getting to the point where only a few companies own the many things. Like you think there's options, but there really isn't. That's what WWE is now chasing. Like if you think you're getting AAA, you know, Mexican wrestling, not really, nigga. It's WWE. If you go into TNA thinking it's like a wholly different product, listen, TNA about to be WWE, bro. I don't care what anybody says. All this slow partnership, crossover shit they're doing is just a test in the waters before they are ultimately bought the fuck out, right? So let's go back to this, what he was saying here. And then that's the other thing. There's a billboard of the $1 Million Man out right now, Ted DiBiase, at Times Square. And WWE fucking hates that. They hate that. They don't like this. They don't like this. They do not like this. This is what he was referring to, Westside Gunn. This is part of his Heels Half Eyes trilogy of like records he's putting out. They don't like this. Ted DiBiase loves it. Virgil, I'm sure, appreciates it. Because, like, unless they're talking about Vince McMahon in the documentary, you don't see that nigga, right? So, yeah, it just rubs them the wrong way. They're not... If this was under Vince McMahon, it would be something completely different. It'd be a completely different, like... They're probably... Westside Gunn and Vince McMahon probably would have, like, met and done some sort of something by now, bro. So, yeah, I think it's a mixture of these things. It's TKO taking every little bit of thing as a threat. You got this fourth rope thing. They're not down with that. You can't be coming to our shows and you're running your own independent thing. What if you're stealing our secrets? I don't think Westside Gunn made wrestling cool. You know, you had motherfuckers like Smoke DZA doing all the wrestling tracks, and maybe Westside Gunn took it a step further, but I don't think they necessarily brought people back from the dead who were previously wrestling fans and then came back because Westside Gunn said it was cool. I don't think that's what happened. Okay, Action Bronson, these guys, Action Bronson, who's wrestling right now, they are all part of that movement and had a piece in it as well. But I don't necessarily think they made it cool. I just think that, you know, TKO is a monopolization right now, bro. And I think there's a tad bit of racism still lingering. Like, I have to still remember that wrestling in the United States is still rooted in some Southern good old boys mentality way of thinking. Some good old boy carny way of thinking. That's where it's rooted in. And so a lot of those sensibilities come out in the product. You look at Grande Americano, you look at Chelsea Green doing what she's doing right now as a double champ. Absolutely mirrors the culture that's going on in society in real life. But that and like not pushing black wrestlers, and it just all concocts into like Logan Paul, Brock Lesnar's back. And listen, I'm not like, you know, advocating for like a dude who defecates and pees on people to come back to the office, which I think that they're testing the waters on that, especially if Trump shows up in Washington and Vince shows up in Washington, like on TV. I believe Vince is always there, low-key, in the back. Some of these wrestling events, like the WrestleManias and shit, I believe he'd be there, but not on TV. But I promise you, they're gonna try and test the water. It's just a weird time, man. Like, the company stood for and stood on is different because it's new times and a new era, and unfortunately, like, what flew back then ain't flying no more. Especially if you like trying to make a little splash in the industry yourself in some way and you're not playing with one of the big boys. Like, listen, it's monopolization season. That's another part of the times. It's the monopoly era. I own all of this. There are no outliers. And if there are outliers, then it's only a matter, we have to crush them. It's only a matter of time until we crush them and buy everything around them. That's the era we're living in also. So yeah, it's unfortunate, man. But this is part of that, you know? TKO shit. That's all this is. This is another reason why it don't make WWE look good in the eyes of the fans. Because, you know, if you're attacking Westside Gunn, who's a mega fan, it's an attack on fans. And you can look in the comments section now. Like, Triple K strikes again. Nah, WWE is weird as hell for that. You guys chase celebs and their involvement in the company, and you do this. That's the other thing. Listen, man, it's a new era, bro. And I'm gonna leave you there. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this in the comment section. And you can tell the fans, holla at me. Also, if you're like really into wrestling content, check out my sis. That's my cousin. She's not really my cousin, but she calls all her fans cousins, and she's black and she's from the Bronx. So check out Wrestling in Color podcast. I'll leave her link in the description below. I want to hear what she has to say about this too. Peace, y'all.